Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Dagger aka Red Robe tapping in with you one time. How you doing out there, man? I hope all is well. Today we're going to be talking about how Nas is single-handedly saving and preserving hip-hop right after this intro.
Every artist have a story, whether you're the smallest artist or the biggest artist. What will define you is your preparation. The great Nipsey Hussle once said, luck is just being prepared at all times, so when the door opens, you're ready. This is my journey. You think I'm playing?
Welcome back to the channel. It's Dagger aka Red Robe. How y'all doing out there, man? I hope y'all are doing great, and I hope y'all are achieving every single thing that you aim to achieve. All right, man, let's get into it. So Nas basically is single-handedly saving hip-hop, and when I say Nas is saving hip-hop and saving and preserving hip-hop, in my opinion, I mean by starting a foundation that takes care of the legacy artists, the artists that put the bricks down, that basically the artists that started it all, you know. And I find that, like, in hip-hop, a lot of times that people that get money but they don't give back, and sometimes people that get money and they phase out, you know what I'm saying? They phase out, you know. You just don't hear from them anymore. They get old. Next thing you know, you hear they're dead broke, and all that. I mean, even Nas, one time they were saying that Nas was broke, and you know, he was, you know, not being very financially smart with his money. That's what I heard one time. That was years ago. But lately, no, that's not the case. Lately, we've just been hearing that Nas been making some big moves, major investments, and just basically killing it on the investment field. So now that he's made a lot of money, he's decided that, hey, I want to give back, because you know why? Nas loves hip-hop. And when I say Nas loves hip-hop, I'm not talking about because he's good at rapping and because he likes to make albums. And he, you know, at one point I didn't even think Nas liked to make albums. Nas would make an album every now and again, but I understand why now. It's because he was signed to a record label and he was just doing his best to make sure they don't get the best out of him. He's saving the best for himself. So that was the case in Nas' situation, where we wasn't getting a lot of albums and music from him in, let's say, the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff. But nowadays, Nas has been giving us music Nas gave us like 5 albums in the last 5 years. So we can't complain. We just gotta say, hey, maybe you're just not listening enough. But we're not talking about his music today. We're talking about how he's single-handedly saving hip-hop by starting the Paid in Full Foundation, a foundation created to help legacy artists, and a foundation here to preserve hip-hop, to preserve it, to save it forever. It's kind of like the Hall of Fame of hip-hop, in a sense. You know, let people know that, you know, these guys did a lot for hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? These are the guys that laid the bricks down for you young people today to actually have a genre. Hip hop is so big that everybody's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing hip hop. Care about what country they're from or what race they are. Everybody doing hip hop. Hip hop is essentially pop culture. But a lot of people don't give back to hip hop. A lot of people, when they come in, they make their money and they run off. And they forget about all the other people that didn't have those opportunities that they have today and didn't make the type of money that they are making today. But Nas is saying, hey, I appreciate you guys. I know what you guys did for me. I know what you guys did for this genre. And I want you guys to live. I want you guys to have a life after this. And that's what Nas is doing with the Paid in Full Foundation. Now, let's check this video out. We'll give you a little more insight on what the foundation does and who's involved in it. Nas and his partners started it. It's a beautiful thing. Check this video out and I'll be back.
The Paid in Full Foundation was founded back in 2022 by Ben and Felicia Horowitz. It works to empower transformation of artists to continue their creative and artistic endeavors. So I was there on Saturday. It was at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. George Clinton accompanied by, look at Babyface. It's so weird to me to see Babyface playing backup guitar.
Right.
Let's just say a good time. Roxanne Shante was a host. She got the award last year, one of the awards. And it's just one of those things that everybody, Jeffrey Katzenberg was there. I go, Jeffrey, what are you doing here? He goes, same thing you're doing here. I mean, it was just, it's just a reminder of what great music that.
I just think like for Nas to do something like this, Nas is such a humanitarian. Like Nas is such a humanly like caring person. You know what I'm saying? For him to say, you know what? I'm rich. Why not give back to the people that helped me to get here? They didn't give me money, but they gave me inspiration. They opened up the doors. So hey, why not give back to them? Why not make sure that they have something to fall back on? Because you find like as a hip hop artist, after your career has died out and nobody's hearing about you anymore, nobody's hearing any songs anymore, sometimes you do go broke. A high percentage of it, like probably, I don't know what the percentage of hip hop artists that go broke, but most of them do. Most of the people that's in hip hop go broke, and a lot of times, like for people that actually did something, like I understand, like if somebody made a few hits, they got rich, and then they just wasted their money all over the place, and then they got broke, and they probably just had to file for bankruptcy, and that happens, and it's unfortunate. But for people who actually put the work in but never had those opportunity, because at the time when they came out, when hip hop first started, people wasn't really getting paid like that. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop started, like in the late 70s or whatever, people wasn't really getting paid like that. People didn't have any money. A lot of the acts that came out in the 70s and the early 80s never really got paid for what they were doing. They basically built the genre. They basically put the genre out there. They brought the attraction of record labels. They brought the attraction of big investors. And by the time those investors and those people started investing, those artists were older, and people just brushed them off like, we don't need you anymore because we got these young, fresh guys. And a lot of times, to me, it's the record labels, because the record labels don't care, and I honestly feel like one of the reasons why record labels treat hip hop the way they treat it is because of it being a predominantly black craft. And that's just the way things are here. You know what I'm saying? When it's predominantly black, nobody cares. If it was predominantly another race, I'm sure it'd be well funded. The artists will probably have money after they finish their careers, and I'm sure that they take care of their legacy artists. I'm sure in rock and roll, a lot of rock and rollers get taken care of. I'm sure so. Like, I don't know for sure, but I want to bet on it. I want to bet that a lot of people that was in rock are still making money, are still getting paid, are still being taken care of, but not in hip hop. In hip hop, they want to make you feel like when you're done, you're done. And when your career is over, it's over. You go back to live in the projects, you go back to live in poverty, it's over for you. And Nas is saying, hey, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen to these legacy artists. I'm not going to allow that to happen to the legends of our culture. I'm not going to allow our legends of our culture to have to go back and live in poverty after they've done so much for this craft, after they've done so much for this culture. Then you just turn your back on them and you say, hey, these guys ain't worth money. These guys ain't worth nothing. And I just say, no, these are our heroes. These guys, what these guys did for me, I could never repay them. But you know what I can do? I can help them survive in their older years. I can give back to them. So by starting the Paid in Full Foundation with his partners, Nas is going to give back to those artists. Nas is going to make sure that those artists are taken care of. If they got hospital bills that they need to take care of, if they got doctor bills that they need to take care of, if they need help with their food, it's like if they need help in general, like mentally, if they need mental help, like Nas is gonna, him and his partners is doing this foundation to help and give back to those legacy artists, those legendary artists. He also started the Grandmaster Awards, where he gives awards to the legacy artists. I've seen him already gave a couple out already. He's given an award, and I don't fully remember everybody, but I think he gave like Rakim, MC Shine. I think he did give back to some of the Wu-Tang members himself. Just legacy artists, man. Like artists, Cool G Rap. You know, these guys are legends. Like, Cool G Rap is a legend. And to see, like, to say he don't have any money to take care of himself, he don't have money to go to the doctor, to go to the dentist, to go, you know, like, those things are bad. So we should be able to have a foundation. We should be able to say, we have a foundation that when your career is popping, money goes in there. Money goes into that foundation. Money goes when your career is booming. Money goes to that foundation, and it's saved up for when you are done. For when you're saying, like, I'm old now, I'm retiring, and then you just be able to access that money. You know what I'm saying? So for Nas to do that, I love it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we love Nas. That's why we love Nas, because Nas cares. Nas cares. I could tell he did. I could tell by the type of songs that he does, he cares. I could tell by the way he talks, the way he moves, that he cares. Nas is a caring person. So big up to Nas, man. Big up to Nas for doing this, because a lot of people wouldn't do this. You know, we have a lot of hip hop artists out there that make a lot of money, and do they want to give back to the legendary artists? I don't know. You know, do they want to start foundations that the legacy artists can say, hey, I'm getting a little something from that every month, or you know what I'm saying, annually, or something like that? I don't know if they would do that for the legacy artists. So for Nas to single-handedly say, hey, I'm preserving hip hop. I'm not gonna let hip hop die. I'm not gonna let our legends go eat cat food. I'm not gonna allow that. I am gonna make a move with my partners to preserve and save the hip hop genre, the hip hop culture. Big up to Nas. Respect, salute, because a lot of people wouldn't step up and do stuff like this. So Nas is the savior. Nas is the savior. Nas is the savior. Big up to my brother Nas, man. We love you. Keep doing your thing. Keep being successful. Keep progressing. And I hope you do great on your next project. All right, man. That's my video for today. It's Dagger, aka Red Robe, tapping out one time. Peace and one love.